All right, guys. Eagles come into the season as the favorite in the NFC. Jason Avant, who's the biggest threat to the crown in the NFC?
They're right down south, and the Commanders. The Commanders are the reason that they are because the Eagles were able to run the ball with efficiency on them. They go out and get Javon Kinlaw. They get Eddie Goldman, who's a run stopper throughout his career. You also add Von Miller to that mix. In order to combat A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith, they go out and get Jonathan Jones from the New England Patriots. And on top of that, you have, Bobby Wagner back.
B-Dub.
Yeah, there's a long time they're playing. So I think the Commanders pretty much addressed all of their needs, and that's not including Laramie Tunsil. That's not including Deebo Samuel. They went out to address their needs, and I think that they'll give the Eagles hell this year.
You think Deebo still got something left to take? He's a little thick down there at the Super Bowl, man.
Well, yeah, so Deebo is not a typical receiver, and if you can get him into the offense that he's best at, and the Commanders do that with getting guys on the edge and just getting the ball into his hands. That's who he is. Mm-hmm. And also, he doesn't have to deal with anyone's number one corner anymore. He can deal with the number 2 corner. He can deal with the number 3 corner in the slot. So his production should go up because he's not the feature person anymore.
Yeah. Hey, since you're here, Jason, and we get to talk about you played offense, tell Joe and explain to him, well, not just Joe, but everybody.
Specifically me. Tell me.
How continuity and especially on the offensive side of the ball, if you don't have that early on, how it could disrupt the offensive timing and everything you're trying to do.
Yeah, it's about so you get plays from the coach, from the offensive coordinator, whoever installs the game plan. And those plays have what is supposed to happen on it. I have a 10-yard in route, and the outside guy has a post. And that's what it's supposed to be like when it's a perfect day. Everything is equal.
Yeah.
But in the game, that 10-yard route can turn into 7 based on nuance. And that post can turn into an 8-yard purchase at a 15-yard.
I know what nuance is, but explain to the people that are listening
so
what nuance could potentially be.
So there's a blitz that happens, and now that route has to be shortened. And those types of things happen when it comes to timing and a guy being there early. You get to talk to him. You get to explain these things. He knows what to do in each and every scenario. That's why you see a bunch of missed targets and the guys out of position earlier in the season. So that's what having that chemistry is all about, is ironing out all the little details within a route in every situation before the play starts and before you get out there on the field. You have an answer to it rather than just freelancing and hoping that it works.
Since we're doing football 1-on-1, and talk to them
I like this.
About how, as a defender, when you haven't had that timing and had these conversations, I can disrupt all of that.
Oh, yeah, 100%. As a defender, because a guy won't know what to do in each scenario. So if a guy comes up and he is pressed when he's supposed to be off, because remember, in NFL, in college, you see a regular defense on the outside, it's a cover 3. The guy's going to be off and outside with his butt to the sideline. In the pros, he can come up and press. The first time you've ever seen it, he can press a cover 3, and you're like, dude, that's supposed to be illegal, right? In your mind, but it's not. He's going to play the same coverage, but he's going to come up closer to you to disrupt the timing. Things like that the defenders can do. They can move alignments at the last minute, and now the quarterback is seeing something different, right? So there's a bunch of things that the defenders can do.
So I love the question, but sometimes Hugh will kind of mask a question with another thing.
Okay.
This guy over here, he's worried about a slow start this season, okay? And I'm not as much. So how big of a deal, and I think really this is where it comes down to, how big of a deal is it going from Moore to Patullo? Because I understand Jalen seems to have a new coordinator every year. It's the life. Mm-hmm. It really is the life because Sirianni doesn't call plays. I mean, that's what we're set up with. It's going to keep happening, right? If they have success, these guys become head coaches.
He has to become the brain trust in order for there to be some continuity.
Yep. But that's where we're at. So, new coordinator. I don't think it's the same as last year though, because Moore was new. It was really his offense.
Yeah.
Patullo's been here.
Yeah.
Has a relationship with Jalen, and also they're returning 10 of 11 offensive starters. So I understand it's not going to be perfect week 1. I expect them to move the ball against that Cowboys defense tomorrow night. Where do you come down on tomorrow night, slow start, this offense, Patullo?
I don't think that they'll be slow offensively, because Patullo's been in the building, right. And I've gotten a chance to go down and practice and see some of the drill. Like, he's doing individual drills with the whole team against the defense. It's weird. I've never seen it before. He's doing some very creative stuff offensively to kind of help these guys out. So I think they'll be fine offensively. That's not the part I'm worried about. I think defensively we'll have the most struggle.
Right.
And then Jalen has to get a sense of his play calling cadence. And we'll see if they're going to give Jalen more responsibility. We're going to see if we're going to run the ball a little bit more or pass the ball a little bit more than we did last year. So I don't think that we're going to have a drop-off offensively. The biggest drop-off I think we're going to have is defense.
The other side of the ball. Jason Avant with us here, our rally in Royersford. All right, Hugh, so Jason said the Commanders, the biggest threat in the NFC. Hugh Douglas, there's a lot of good teams in the NFC. Biggest threat to the Eagles for you is?
The biggest threat is probably, I would say, I was thinking Green Bay Packers because of the fact that they got
Micah?
Yeah. And they're supposed to be a good team. But like I told you the other day, Joe, it feels like I don't know how successful Micah's going to be in that division, but I still think it's the Green Bay Packers.
How good is Green Bay, Jason?
Well, let me explain this, because I haven't gotten a chance to be on air when it comes to the Micah Parsons trade in general. A lot of people are not going to like me for this, but I think they won the trade.
Green Bay or Dallas?
Dallas.
Explain.
I think Dallas won the trade just because they get 2 first-round picks. They get a guy that can make a Pro Bowl potentially. Not saying that he will, but he has the talent to make a Pro Bowl. And then Micah Parsons is sort of like J.J. Watt. Let me explain this to you. Micah Parsons goes out of structure a lot in order to make plays, and it's hard to have consistent run defense when you have a guy that freelances in order to get stats. It's good for stats, and it's good for his Hall of Fame career, and it's good for his Pro Bowls, but it's not good for structured winning football because there's a guy that's stat chasing or fishing to go around in order to make production, and that usually doesn't win you ball games. So Micah Parsons is a great player, but there's some nuance to what he does, and I don't necessarily know if that's beneficial long term for any team.
I think it's an interesting perspective. Now, the 2 first-round picks they get back, they got to nail those picks to make the trade worth it for them. But he's out of the division. He's on Green Bay now. The odds say they're the second-best team. I need to see it. I need to see how good they're going to be with him. What do we think about Detroit? They did win 15 football games last year, and they had the 1 seed. If I were to vote right now, the biggest threat to the Eagles, I still say Detroit. Now, I know they lost both coordinators. Could be a big deal, especially with the play caller, Ben Johnson. That's a good football team, though, Jason. They've got a lot of good football players.
Yeah, they also lost their Pro Bowl center in Ragnow.
They did.
Right? So you lose both coordinators.
Before you go on, I will say, because I've heard that a lot this offseason, they're taking a big step back.
Okay.
The Eagles were the exact same thing last year. I sat here a year ago, and I was like, 2 new coordinators, and we lost our Hall of Fame center, and then they were better. Now, I know we got Vic Fangio. They didn't replace Aaron Glenn with Vic Fangio. I'm just saying, we watched the team last year lose their starting center, a great player, and both coordinators, and win the Super Bowl.
But they had a succession plan. Cam Jurgens was all the way in the ranks there, and actually picked out by Jason Kelce.
Yep.
So I think it's a little bit different circumstance. But yes, Detroit will have something to say. I'm not saying that they aren't. They're top 3 teams in the NFC to me. I think the sleeper team for me is the Rams.
Well, they gave us the biggest trouble last year.
Yeah, because they end up with Poona Ford, who does really well at stopping the run.
Right.
They draft the dog and Josiah Stewart from Michigan, who's a pass rush specialist, and I don't know if we have anybody that can block Jared Verse on our team.
You heard him that dog from Michigan.
I heard it.
You heard him
that
dog
from
Michigan.
Earlier. He's been dropping the names.
And then you get Devontae Adams. Adams, who's a stalwart at receiver that can go along with Puka.
Yeah, they're an interesting one because Stafford's had that back injury this summer.
Yeah, that's the problem.
If they're in the playoffs, I don't want to face them. I just wonder, is he going to stay healthy? Are they going to be good enough all year?
Yeah.
The one thing you notice is the NFC's got a lot of good teams.
They do.
It's good.
They have a legit 7 contenders.
Yes.
A legit, man, if you ask San Francisco or the Bucs.
I was about to throw the same. Do we think the Niners bounce back? They always seem to bounce back. When Shanahan has his bad years, they seem to bounce it back with 12 wins the next year.
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know if he's able to overcome offensive line and defense. I don't necessarily know.
And they lost a lot of players.
Yeah.
Hufanga left, and Greenlaw and Debo. Hugh, you think the Niners bounce back?
Man.
Because they were bad last year.
I do. I don't know how, like, when you say bounce back, I think they'll be a better team now.
Playoff
Will they
team?
be a playoff? I would say in that division probably. Yeah. Yeah, I give them that.
The number 1 seed is going to be Pierce. Like, I don't know. Like, I don't know. I don't know how this is going to work.
I don't either. But
Yeah, I don't know.
They were in the Super Bowl just 2 Super Bowls ago, right? Like they've been right there.